Hello, Captains. This is Metaman. Today we're looking at a battle I had in the Saipan, and you can see this is a predominantly Tier 10 battle. I just wanted to show a battle with the Saipan, or it could have been with a Tier 6 and a Tier 8 battle. But it works out that this is the Saipan. It's a Tier 8 CV. It's a predominantly Tier 10 battle. And Saipan, yes, it has tier 10 planes, but is considered actually one of the more fragile CVs because it has so few planes. And I wanted to show how you play in when you're a lower tier in CVs. One of your main things that you should be doing in a CV when you're lower tier right off the bat is trying to conserve your planes and just playing intelligently. Here, I don't see anybody coming into Bravo, so the first thing I'm going to do in conserving my plane is not going out there. Because I see that a destroyer is coming in over here at Bravo for us. I'm going to protect him first. The idea between protecting your team and conserving your planes, especially when you're at a bottom tier, Saipan, you can be deplaned pretty fast. Now, the longer you go before attacking a bunch of ships, the more their AA attachments are going to be burned away by HE fire or being hit with even AP. So later in the match, you're able to be more effective. Here I see that our destroyer's getting ready to get the cap. I already gave him a fighter to help protect him. I'm going to go ahead and start creating my damage. I like using islands so that they have less time to concentrate AA fire on my planes. That's one way to mitigate your damage or plane damage to your planes. Almost every flight, I am going to go ahead and drop that first load so that they have less planes to shoot at. I'm usually going out with 1 or 2 to 3 sets of planes so that I'm expecting to lose one set and the other set is going to give me a full salvo. Here, this isn't the greatest drop. I didn't come over right. I didn't estimate his speed correctly. I should have got a little farther out front. I have all the premium CVs, and Kaga is known as having the best torpedoes. I actually prefer the torpedoes on the Saipan and her drop better. The reason is you can have a pretty good rate if they're not going real fast with getting all 4 onto target, 3 to 4. And yours hit harder than the Kaga. So if you can have a pretty decent accuracy, you're going to have pretty good damage from your torpedoes versus the Kaga. The torpedoes are fast. I like them. That's fine. But when you find a lot of bow-on ships that are willing to let you get all 4 on target, like this Pommern is getting ready to let me get 4 on him, you're going to do more damage per salvo. And once again, I'm going in with 4 airplanes. And someone could say, well, you're not getting to do a turnaround and come in with another salvo. Right there, I got my 4, so I'm looking at 17,000 damage on 1 salvo. So if you take the extra time to line it up correctly, or find targets that aren't moving very well or paying attention to something else, you're going to get more damage per salvo. A lot of times you see captains come in come at a weird angle and are only able to get a little bit of damage. Here on this Massachusetts, you're going to notice that I'm not going to wait until the reticle gets small. I'm going to actually let go of my bombers when they're still kind of high, and that's so that I want the dispersion to be a little bit wide. Give myself a better chance at creating multiple fires. Right there, I'm trying to hit multiple parts of the deck. I did. I got my 2 fires. But you notice that I'm also hitting isolated targets. That Pommern was by himself. That Bismarck didn't have any help. One of the problems is that we're going after targets that are in a blob. And now you have multiple ships with AA bubbles. Right here, I'm going to go into a spot that, now that I said that, I'm going to go into a spot that's going to have 2 ships AA. But I'm trying to finish these ships off now. But your main goal should be making sure that you have planes towards the end of the battle. And like I said, Saipan doesn't have a lot of planes. It takes a long time for him to regenerate. And you'll see at this end of this battle how many airplanes I have left. And I'll be attacking this whole game. Trying to get rid of this Massachusetts. Get 3 more on target. He would have bled out. But someone's going to, I'm not going to say steal the kill, but get that last salvo on there, but he would have died. Once again, doing my pre-drop. Get lined up on this Pommern. A lot of times when you're watching somebody's video, someone will say, oh, well, you had the perfect setup. Well, you got lucky and they didn't move. These happen every match. It's just long as you take the time to line them up. If they're paying attention to other people, a lot of times they're not able to turn around that fast. And he's going pretty slow. I even go in for the perfect drop here. I go in a little bit closer so that I could get it concentrated on that middle. I just wanted to create 1 fire, and this time the fire didn't come. We started out with a pretty good lead. Now they've caught, they're catching up. But your main goals, conserve your planes, do as much damage as you can to isolated targets. I didn't go after a lot of DDs in this battle. Later on, I go after their final DD. It just worked out that way. 2 of their DDs died right away. If they were out there at the beginning of the battle or still in this battle, I'd be going after them. Here I get unlucky. I was trying to do a drop and the Pommern dies, and then the Salem gets a little bit of AA on me. But let's say the Holland. The Holland has great AA, has the DFAA. What happens is you'll see CVs either just totally go after the Holland, or you'll see people ignore them. And it has to be a combination of both. Here, this is a horrible drop on this Salem. I underestimated his speed. But they'll try to kill the Holland, and you're going by yourself. What you should be doing is making sure that you have a DD in the area or a cruiser in the area, so that when he's happy to send out his AA when you're sitting 3-4 kilometers away or 5 kilometers away, that you have a cruiser firing at the Holland. You might not get the damage, but you might get the assisted, because you're going to end up keeping him lit up. When he's shooting his AA at you, he's lit up. And that's why you need a cruiser or a destroyer there to help you. Um, at that time, you're just basically being a spotter, and yes, he's farming damage on your planes. But if you keep him lit up at that time, you're helping the team. You might not get the solo kill, but you're helping the team get rid of the Holland. And if he stays visible, that's his fault. He's gonna die that way. Kind of like back in the day, destroyers could go off on their own, go wherever they want, farm their damage, and now they're not happy because they have to stay closer to the team because the CVs require that. If you don't stay close to the team, the CV can delete you. Well, now it's kind of like that with the CV players, as in, if you want to go off on your own, yes, you can go catch isolated battleships, but if you catch an isolated Holland and you're out by yourself, as in you don't have somebody to fire at him also, you are going to be punished. Same way as the destroyers are being punished now. Here, watch how many people it takes to kill this Salem. There's an Amagi. He just killed the Tirpitz. There's a Montana out there. It took a long time to kill that Salem. I think that really cost us. We had 3 battleships on that one Salem, and it took us a long time to get that kill. But going after the Holland, or say a Friesland, or somebody like that, if you don't have somebody there with you, as in you're spotting and they're able to fire on that target also, you're no better than that destroyer player that wants to go off on his own, adventuring on his own, and then trying to get kills. You shouldn't be able to. You're not going to get assistance. Here I'm coming over here to help the Shima. He's trying to run away. Their Kitakaze is over here. We still have the lead, but they have 2 caps. I'm spotted, so I know he's not in smoke. He gets in smoke at just the right time. So it's just playing with intelligence, as in, say the Holland. If you go after the Holland and you don't have anybody to fire at him when he's visible, but you don't have anybody that you're spotting for, well, good job for the Holland. I don't feel bad for the CV at all, because we don't feel bad for the destroyer that if he goes off on his own, that he gets deleted. Like this Kitakaze's on his own. There's no help for him. I'm not going to kill him here, but he has no backup. He's went off on his own. He should be allowed to be punished. If you go after Holland on your own and you don't have a cruiser or a DD that's going to help, high DPM DD that's going to help you get shots on him, that's your fault. Here trying to survive. This guy's been coming after me the last little bit. Like I said, your main goal should be trying to make sure that you have planes at the end of the battle. If you get deplaned early in the battle, think about it. When people begin the battle, they're all bunched up already. So if they stay bunched up at the beginning of the battle and you go attack, you're going to lose planes. You're going into multiple anti-air bubbles. Beginning of the match, you should be helping somebody try to get a cap by just spotting and being a deterrent. I'm trying to be a deterrent so that the other DD doesn't want to go in there and try to help my team get that early cap. After that, I'm looking for isolated targets. I'm dropping my first set of bombs or rockets or whatever so that the AA bubble cannot eat up all my planes. I'm willing to sacrifice one set. And you can say, wow, you're willing to just sacrifice one set. But you see at the end of the battle, I still have 6 of 6 rockets. I have 6 of 6 HE bombs, and I have a salvo and a half of torpedo bombers. So we're at the end of the battle, and I'm pretty much the same as at the beginning of the battle. I'm a little low on torpedoes, but the HE and the rockets, they're fine on the Saipan. That's the neat thing with the Saipan. You do have low. I thought I should have got 3 or 4 hits with that torpedo drop, but I didn't. The neat thing about the Saipan is all of your flight groups are good. Your rockets, they're a little more crazy dispersion, a little bit, but when they hit hard and they create fires. Your torpedoes, like I said, I love her torpedoes. I think she has the best torpedoes at Tier 8. That's my opinion. Doesn't make it a fact. That's my opinion, but I'll definitely stick with that. And her HE bombs, you see that they create fires, and they do a little bit of damage when they land also. So I like all her flight groups. Here, Kitakazi on his own still. Gonna get rid of him. So, yes, it was later in the match, but now we're going to get to start going in and create kills. We're looking for people that have depleted anti-AA mounts. Here I'm looking to create a fire on that Yamato. I get it. He's going to bleed out. So it's a tier 10 match. We're falling behind now. I've been active the whole time, looking for isolated targets, waiting till later in the game where I still have full flight groups. Here I'm coming back with just one torpedo. I didn't know that the Yamato was going to die, so I was coming back with one set of torpedoes. So really, I should have... Here's a couple mistakes I made. When that Yamato was about to die, I should have started coming down to Bravo. Another thing, when that Yamato died, I should have went back and got my HE bombs or my rockets. Probably HE bombs. We're in our last just over a minute and a half. I should have already been coming down towards Bravo so I could get into Cap. So I'm not saying I would have got into Cap in time, but I should have. Here, same way as it took forever to kill that Salem, we're in the lead by over 100. Well, now it's 100 points. We have a North Carolina who's a tier 8 going against a tier 10 cruiser. There's no reason for him to be fighting. We're 100 points in the lead with just over a minute. Sometimes it's bad point and click, but sometimes, most of the time, I don't even think it's bad accuracy or anything like that. I think it's bad strategy. Here, it took us forever to kill that Salem. We had 3 battleships on him. This Petro, there's no reason for our North Carolina to be fighting him. We're over 50 points ahead of him. So if he does not go broadside, we win. Actually, it's the Montana at the end. It's not the North Carolina, it's the Montana. Montana does not have to go broadside. He can stay bow on or stern. Look, he dies. There was no reason. There was no reason for that to happen. So with less than a minute left, less than 15 seconds left, we lose the battle. There was no reason. But you're going to see on the stats page, we're going to end up with 2 kills. Right around, not quite, I think 125,000 damage, 2 kills. We supported the team the whole time. We never got deplaned. Towards the end, we were getting low on our torpedoes, but we still had every bit of rockets, every bit of HE bombers. We were top of the leaderboard. I think we had a good game. It didn't work out. We had to have a couple really silly things go on in that game for it to not work out and us lose. But Hopefully this was a little bit informative to you and help you understand when you're bottom tier that different things you can do to help the team and do well. This is Meta_Man 2002. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you find the games useful, you guys have a great day.